What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's Motorfest video, I do want to look at the main stage. Now, I do know a lot of people have been talking about this recently, like, for one, it might need to be changed around or maybe even add different things into it. Now, I was looking more into this, and I have to admit, I do think everybody is right. Now, the reason why I do mention this is, yes, there is going to be three different ones here. We have the Explore the Island Secrets on the right side, which of course is going to be like the skills and like the photo ops around the map. And then for the middle one, we're then going to have the compete against drivers, like the Summit Contest Custom Show and the Grand Races. And then for the final one on the left side, the Revisit the Playlist Experience. So jump back into the events using like the hypercars to level that one up. Now I would say like the overall design there is going to be fairly solid. They each go to level 4, which by the way, all of these also go toward your main level of the timeline here at the end of that said month. Now, I would admit, like, the main design of the main stage is probably going to be fairly solid. We're going to have 4 different levels for each one of these that are going to get you rewards. It also sends players in different directions like the summit or like even doing the playlist. And then, of course, it also encourages you to drive around and go after the XP that way. Now, the only flaw I do see here is they most likely should change the rewards around, or maybe even give you different things upon going after the levels. Like, for example, the first one here is going to be the playlist experience. You will then notice that there is going to be a total of 4 levels on this one. So level 1 you get a 5% increase, which of course is going to be for the XP. And then for level 2 you're going to get 5 legend points. And then you will notice the Mercedes AMG for the 3rd level. And then finally on level 4 you get yourself the Crank Shirt by Hoonigan, and also the last one's going to be the Hoonigan Power Achiever, and on top of that it's also going to be a common title. And if I did have to guess, many players are most likely not even going to run a common title. They are probably going to go after like the higher level ones like a legendary, because they are of course going to be a lot more rare. At this point though, many players most likely already own the vehicles that are coming out in the main stages, so I would say they're probably going to be like, well yeah, Block, we're going to get the money for the cars. I understand that, but at the same time the game only gives you like 100 grand per vehicle. Funnily enough, that one hypercar, which by the way that was in the timeline when making the video, crazily enough guys, this thing is going to only give you like 300 grand from it. Even though, keep in mind, this thing is a hypercar, I was expecting at least $1 million or something like that because, well, if you were to go buy something like this in the hypercar category, you are most likely going to be spending at least $800,000 on it. But who knows, maybe you're going to get hit with that insane depreciation. Here's 100 grand to make you happy. And then of course for the next one you also get 100,000 bucks, legend points, also the 5 XP booster, and then you also get another common title and a t-shirt. So I'm sure you guys do see where I am going with the rewards here. I do understand like it's going to give you the reason to jump in and level them up. Most players at this point are probably going to level one of the main stages maxed out to its level. After that they're then going to go over and most likely level up the timeline itself. Also, this one's going to give you a baseball cap, aka hat, and also another common title. So many of the timeline rewards here in the main stage I would say could probably be better. Now we all do know they could probably add like maybe like a gold part set into that. Like, I'm not saying get 7 gold parts out of it, but maybe you might get like a random thing to where you get 2 gold parts out of hitting like level 4. That way you might actually get closer to a set you might actually be missing. Now, we all do know in order to level up the main timeline, you only have to get one of the main stages to level 4. And from my experiences so far with maxing out the main stage, I wouldn't say that's going to be an issue. I would say the biggest problem right now with the main stage is the rewards the said main stage is giving you. Like, to be honest, guys, how many players actually want to hit level 4 for a t-shirt? I do know, like, having good fashion's obviously a plus, but how many people actually want to go after a common title? I really do think if they most likely added a few more things into each level, like maybe instead of giving you 100,000 bucks, maybe they can make that like 250,000. Also increase like the legend points to like 5 or 15. And then of course maybe make like the XP booster to like 10%. That way if you are grinding stuff out, you are going to have a better chance to get things. And of course on top of that, you also, get more XP and money with having like the XP boosters active. One of the big things I did notice about this though is players are looking for something they can go after, but also a bigger reason to go after these said items. Going after like 100,000 bucks in a main stage is probably going to be like, well, every time the new month does come out, let's max out the main stage to level 4 on each one. And then of course we never have to worry about it ever again until the next month comes around, then players will level that one up. The biggest thing I would say here is, can we at least get more rewards for the main stage itself? For example, though, getting like an increase in money from the cars that are in the main stage, or even like the cars that do show up in the summits. Like, I did notice some of the cars showing up in the summits that are in gold. This can also be seen with the hypercar that was in the timeline. Can we at least get a bit more money for those vehicles when they do end up coming out in there? And I would say a lot of players might actually want to jump on and go, yeah, let's go level up this main stage and get these rewards, like these look dope. Instead, I feel like a lot of players are like, well, let's go level up the main stage to level 4 so then I can actually do the timeline, because none of the rewards in the main stage itself actually matter. I do feel like to a certain extent it really is going to be like this, but increasing the money and like the legend points you get, or even like the XP boosts, and then of course on top of that maybe giving us like parts or something at level 4, that might actually help us get more spare parts to get better rerolls, or like that might end up helping us get that one pesky go part that we cannot seem to get whatsoever. I do feel like increasing the rewards would not only bring a lot more players in, but at the same time it would most likely make a lot more people excited to do the main stage itself. But I would like to know what you guys think about the main stage rewards in the comments below. Do you think a change does actually have to come to this to at least make players more excited, but also make the rewards better to really make players want to do them? I also do want to mention I will be doing a video going over the main stage versus something like the motor pass that was in the Crew 2 before. I would say both are going to have their positives and their negatives. But overall, guys, what do you think about the main stage rewards? In the comments.